What do we do about this one? Because this call for some sort of conference here, there, whatever kind, it suggests that people don't believe in the structure, in the system that's in place.
Yeah.
And then you have people talk about the fact that, I mean, they see it every day. As much as they try to be optimistic, they're bogged down with the challenge of we focus so much on individuals and not institutions.
Yeah.
This man comes in today, it's about this man. In this man's time, this was what happened. How do we ensure that we de-emphasize individualism and focus on building institutions?
Well, you cannot totally run away from individualism because the individuals who drive any system. What you want to pray is that when God gives you the opportunity to get there, then you want to leave an indelible mark in history. So there's nothing wrong with that. And that's why people will always compare the Clinton era with the Bush era, it happens that way. But having said that, I completely agree with you that the institutions must be strengthened such that they run with minimal. It's like heating mercury. Once you give it that initial heat, then it begins to glow on its own. But it needs that initial heat. That heat is the person at the helm of affairs. And that's why it's important that we continue to choose the right people. If the system spews out the wrong person, then we must spit that person out. Every one of us has a role to play. We must not continue to think that somebody somewhere is fixing the problem. That's the mistake we all make. Somebody somewhere is fixing the problem. We should all be part of the solution.
What about the law? What role does the law play?
A lot. A lot. I mean, in a democracy, you can't discuss a democracy without a rule of law. You cannot discuss the rule of law without all the paraphernalia that makes the law work, whether it's from law enforcement to the legislation to the adjudication, all facets of it. In fact, the very heart of democracy is the law. So the law must continue to be strengthened. And on a scorecard, I know I've listened to some of your programs where some of my colleagues have come to berate judges and corruption in the judiciary and all that. Yes, I agree with some aspects of it. But I quickly say that we should not tarnish everybody with the same brush. That's not too fair on the hard-working judges, and there are several of them, unsung, but who go dutifully to court. They deliver their judgments and they stand by the truth. There are judges with pedigree who are not going to sacrifice their backgrounds for whatever may be going on. Yes, I know the few corrupt ones may be tarnishing their image, but it's our responsibility. And that's why anybody who comes to discuss these things, there's a procedure by which these people could be exposed. And I can tell you one thing about the current president. He's not going to defend any judge, anybody who does the wrong thing. And I think that's one reason people are not quite sure where to place him. He's not going to do that. Unlike some that we've seen in the past, who you could tell are actively encouraging what is obviously wrong. And so, like I said again, I warn you, I'm an incurable optimist, and I see that there is a silver lining.
But you know, even in your optimism, I mean, I'm sure there are thousands of optimists there who out there who still see that if we don't do something concerning this, and this, my optimism is shaky.
Well,
is your optimism shaky for any reason?
My optimism is not shaky, but is there room for improvement? Absolutely.
How much room for improvement?
Plenty of room for improvement, because as Winston Churchill said, to change is to improve, and to be perfect is to have changed often. So we must make as many changes as will take us to the promised land.
So some of the areas you'd like to see the changes include?
Well, go back to the rule of law, like you said. I'd like to see a more proactive law regime, because that's my primary constituency, where the law is taking greater center stage in the evolution of our democracy. I'd like to see changes in even in the way the presidency operates in so many regards, because you know because of the system, the military system we've run over the period, we always conjure the image of this strong, powerful dictator who is hitting everybody before you acknowledge that something is being done. I personally don't subscribe to that. But what we need to do is to assist with positive criticisms. And you can see already, whenever there's an outcry about something, the president actually pauses to think about it. In the past, it would never have happened.
Are you one of those that believes that the president is being unfairly criticized?
I don't know about the word unfairly. I know what not. I mean, he's fair game once he's president. That's why he's president. I know what not. But not being given a chance. Yeah, I don't think it's fair for some people not to give him a chance. You know, at times you can criticize to the point where nothing good would appear to come out of anything, and that's not right. There's some critics like that. But there's nothing wrong. I'm sure he can handle criticism. He stood for elections, and that comes with the territory.
You were the pioneer chair of the business section of the
Sure.
NBA. I mean, unemployment level at the moment is way up there. And then they talk about the interest rates. They talk about access to credit is a big challenge. What would you tell people? How do we get out of this? Because time and again, they tell us the intention is to bring it to a single-digit interest rate, but we know that that's usually mouthing.
Well, whenever I read all those fine things that the CBN publishes, it's good to look at them. But when I look at the average Nigerian, he's very hardworking. If he was looking at those indices, he wouldn't do anything. And I can tell you it's the undocumented economy that's keeping this system going. Because 7.1% growth, which is a good thing to celebrate, but a jobless growth worries me. But many Nigerians are self-employed.
You know,
they're doing their own...
The percentage, the percentage of that undocumented, should I say, businesses or of Nigerians, how can the government
capture them?
Capture them.
Yeah.
That's the
well, so long as they don't capture them for tax purposes. Yeah. How can you harness them? It's a very valid point you've made. How can you? Because we are entrepreneurs. All the way stretching from our borders in Badagry all the way to the Gambia, Nigerians control the economy. And they're going back and forth, back and forth. They're not looking at any index in the central bank. They're not looking at any speeches. They're just working hard. They're getting things done.
Are you saying they should be giving tax holiday, these people?
I really don't know how they're being captured.
I went to a barber shop, and he cried to me that his generating set has been seized by the local government officials who came asking for tax papers, and they took his only generating set, knowing full well that he wouldn't be working because there wouldn't be any power supply. Are you saying that such people should be getting tax holiday?
I think we must recognize the entrepreneurship for people like this and don't take away their means of livelihood. Taxing comes with responsibilities. The government itself, too, should rise up its own responsibility. If there was power, he probably would not need the generating set, and he would be more than happy to pay use part of what he would have used to buy the generator for taxes. So government must not just take all the time. But what I want us to celebrate at 52 is this entrepreneurial spirit in the average Nigerian. We're not a lazy people. No matter what anybody tells you, we're not. We go out there, we survive. A few years ago, there wasn't stuff like this going on. But we are embracing it, we are pushing forward, and we must continue to push forward. That's the message I'm hearing, and that's the message I want every one of us to subscribe to. In any case, I keep challenging you, the younger generation. You don't have anywhere to go. Trust me. You must stay here and get the job done. If we have to elbow a few people, let's do that. But we must stay and get the system working.